We can get started. Men's and women's cross country will compete in the NCAA South Central Championships on Friday. This meet will take place up in Fayetteville. Coach Weaver will be here next week to talk about the results from that meet. Women's basketball. Women's basketball started their season this past week, first playing in Columbia at Missouri. It's real close to Missouri. The Sugar Bears gave the Tigers all they could handle, but ultimately lost the game 71-78. Three Sugar Bears had double-digit scoring efforts. Shea Littlefield had 17, Cheyenne Kemp added 12, and Bree Stevens had 11. The Bears then played at home on Friday, opening their home schedule with a 115-43 win over Lyon College. This time, 5 Sugar Bears scored in double figures. Kemp, Littlefield, and Stevens again, plus Emery Bohannon had 13, and Leah Reese had 14. Sugar Bears just have one game this week. It's tonight. It's up in Fayetteville. Tip-off is set for 8 p.m. It's the second half of a doubleheader that's going to be aired on the SEC network. But go ahead and mark your calendars. Next Wednesday, November 19th, the Sugar Bears will be welcoming A-State to the Ferris Center. That's set for a 6:30 p.m. tip-off. Men's basketball, they also started their season this past week. Started at the historic Dean Smith Center, played the Tar Heels of UNC. 15 players made an appearance in the game for the Bears, several of them playing their first collegiate ball game. Javion Guy King led the way for the Bears with 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. Over the weekends, the Bears played their home opener against champion Christian. The Bears won that one 110-63. Ty Robinson was top point man for the Bears, scoring 17 points. Cam Hunter added 13. Cole McCormick had 12. Rashad Bolden had 11. And Truman Byrne had 10. This week, the Bears have 2 games. First, on Tuesday night, tomorrow night, up in Fayetteville versus the Hogs. That game can be seen on the SEC Plus network. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. And then the Bears are at home again on Sunday, the 16th, versus Samford. That tip-off is set for 1 p.m. All right, volleyball. Volleyball had 2 matches, both on the road this past week. First, the Sugar Bears were in Clarksville to take on Austin Peay. Sugar Bears won that one 3-1. Gabby Tuiana led the team with 19 kills. Lacey Bohannon and Alexis McDaniel both had 17 digs, and Kaylin Coons had an incredible 42 assists. Then on Saturday, the Sugar Bears continued the road trip down to Nashville to take on Lipscomb. This match was an extremely competitive match. The total score through the first 4 sets was 88-87. But the Bisons got the 5th set, winning the match. Bohannon led the team with 17 kills. McDaniel had 22 digs, and Coons added 33 assists. This week, the Sugar Bears will wrap up the regular season with 2 more road matches on Thursday at EKU at 5 p.m. and then on Friday at Bellarmine, also at 5 p.m. Now let's hear from head coach John Newberry.
All right, well, the good news is with the win over Austin Peay, we were able to clinch into the conference tournament. So we'll be heading there not this week, but next week. Hopefully we'll be there for a total of 6 days, which is a really, really long time. It's going to be down in Fort Myers at the Florida Gulf Coast. Austin Peay has continually gotten better. They're under a new coaching staff right now. They got down from their full roster last year down to 3 people. The head coach had to just completely revamp the whole entire program and get about 15 more kids in there from the portal. And they've got some solid ones, but they've gotten a lot better since the first time that we saw them. And then with Lipscomb, yeah, we went from first place and then now dropped to 4th place, all with it because of that 4-way tie. That one loss cost us big. We were up 6 points in the 4th set and still haven't quite gotten over that loss just yet. That was a tough pill to swallow. You know, when the 4th set, you're winning 20-17 and just some unforced errors on our end, a couple missed serves, and then some bad attacking errors. That's what happens, and then we just couldn't get in our rhythm. So it's an unfortunate situation for us to be able to kind of let that slip out of our hands, but it is what it is. But moving forward, We're about as healthy as we have been the whole entire season, which is good. We've finally gotten through some concussions and just like little nicks and bruises. Right now, it's just kind of more just the mental fortitude of being on the road. This was our first road trip of being on the road over a whole entire weekend, and we get to do it a little bit this weekend as well. We get to finish a day earlier for the rest of the conference. EKU has a football game at home, so normally we play at EKU on a Saturday, but they asked us to move our game to a Thursday, just like we'd probably do here, just because staffing and everything. So we'll actually play on Thursday and finish up at Bellarmine on Friday. But we're excited for this weekend, just going to be on the road this last time for the last part of our conference season, and really proud of where we are. I'm excited to announce pretty soon our 2026 commits really soon. As of right now, there's 4 of them. And then moving on to the 2027, which is crazy, the juniors, we recruit a little bit earlier. About the only thing I can say is that we've gotten 2 verbal commits. Both are 6'3". They are big. That's really tall for a 16-year-old female. And both play the exact same position. I would like to say that the future is overly bright, and I'd like to say that confidently with what we have coming in. Really excited, but we got 2 of those 2027 commits at the exact same week. So last week was a big week, thanks to official visits and unofficial visits that were able to come in during the homecoming weekend. But anyways, we're excited where we are. Look forward to it. And I'm excited to see how we can finish out the rest of the season. It's been a fun year. I still believe the highlight of this year, we had 2 major highlights in opening up by scaring to death Texas A&M. Right now, they are currently sitting in depends on which poll you're looking at, number 6 or number 8. It's the exact same starting crew, and we went 5 sets with them. We seem to do well against really big teams. We have a lot of trouble dealing with teams that are a little bit smaller than us. So I'm still going to recruit big. It's fun to compete at a high level. But once again, the home crowd at our game against Oklahoma and taking those guys to 5 sets was such an unbelievable experience, and it's something that we'll cherish for a long time. We as far as my son goes, it's been a while since I've been able to bring my little 5-year-old here. He's across the street over at the Learning Center. I've actually got a parent-teacher conference. I hope I get a good report. So we'll see. But we wanted him, if he graduated based on how we started him in pre-K or 3K, I guess, he would have been a 17-year-old graduating senior. So we got to let him do this year again. And man, what a year makes. Last year we're learning letters and we're right on the verge of reading right now. He I think his first word he knows how to spell right now. I'm not even kidding. It's purple. That's his. Yeah. He said he's been saying it the last 2 days. Purple. That spells purple. Rhymes with Urple. But no, we're having fun with the learning stage right now. The talking back at the moment for a 5-year-old is unreal. People tell me, they say it gets worse, and man, does it ever. But it's been fun. So, any questions? Yes, Gene.
4 commits for what positions?
Natalie, you still work here. I'm not saying names. No states. I'll tell you this. We have a very, very talented middle blocker. We have another one, middle blocker, who might be moving to the outside hitter position, slightly undersized, if you call 6 feet undersized. We have a DS libero. Currently, I can confidently say this, currently ranked number 5 in the country in her position, out of her whole entire position in the whole entire country, number 5. And so it's impressive what she does. And then we have a very, very talented setter coming in. We will pick up right where we left off with Kaylin Coons graduating. We still have Sophie Skinner, and she has played a significant role this year with us, but knowing that we won't be able just to fall off the wagon with that really talented position and starter. So we've got a very talented freshman coming in as a setter as well.
What's a DS?
DS Libero, defensive specialist. It's the short ones in the back row. They wear the different color jersey. The little ankle biters back there. Yeah. Little gremlins, as we say sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, she's good. Yes, sir.
Talking money, does Lipscomb have a lot more money to spend on volleyball than you do? How do we match up in the conference when it comes, because that's gonna boil down to some of your recruiting is going to be hard dollars. Where do you fit in that area?
Money is always a thing. I will say this, do they travel a little bit better than us? Do they stay in some better hotels? Yes. I genuinely don't know if it makes that much of a difference because we compete against the same recruits. Us and a couple of other schools in the conference, the top of the conference. We all know who we're trying to get. And yes, there is some money things involved. I will tell you this, though. The kids that I lose to, are the kids that are going to be going to a Power 5 school or a very, very high level, not in a Power 5, old school, I guess, Power 4 school, or maybe a high level Mountain West type team, like a Long Beach State, or some kind of West Coast, high-end West Coast team, or a Big East team, a high-level Big East, because most of those schools do not have football, and so they are the only indoor fall sport. They might have a men or women's soccer, maybe, but basketball is usually their thing. And so we're losing out to that where they're getting a full scholarship. They're also paying those kids $30,000 to $60,000 a year. It's just that's where it's so we know that. And I think, my big argument to some of those questions is that, are you playing for money? I'm going to lean to a lot of what Nick Saban always talks about on the things that he says. I listen to a lot of his stuff. Sometimes I feel like we might be doing it the wrong way. We might be trying to act like we're trying to coach a professional league, and we are not professional league. What UCA has, I think we have a phenomenal culture within the program that I'm responsible for. We have great culture. We have great kids. One of the small things for me is that I can say we haven't had a single a negative progress report this year. My girls have gone to study hall 100% of their study hall hours this year. It's the little things, and so when you have those little things, it carries into the recruiting big time. So some of the recruits that we have coming in, we should have probably gotten overlooked. But because we have the culture and the things that we provide here at UCA, the aesthetics, we're able to succeed in that kind of department. So I'm glad that we have opted in and done, going into the revenue sharing thing. And I think with kind of the small piece that, volleyball we'll be able to get through this, it'll increase our depth. So where the fall off of having a walk-on per se, now I can probably get a slightly higher level type athlete here where our depth is not falling off much at all. If I have an injury, I had a significant injury this year, significant, 2 of them, matter of fact. And with that, I just don't think that we would have the fall off moving forward. We'll be able to compete at even a higher level, that's exciting. So that's a good question, though. It's something we talk about all the time, something we think about. I'm not worried about Lipscomb, not worried about Florida Gulf Coast. I'm not worried about, we beat at our own drum, and I'm ready to beat the rest of everybody in this conference, to be quite honest with you. We enjoy it. We've done it. We've beat every single person in this conference. Just want to get to that first place. I want another banner on the wall so bad, but we're not going to do it at the expense of the mental health of our kids. We've got great culture, and we're not going to do things the wrong way. We're going to do it at a high level, respectably. So, anyways, I could go on and on for that. Anyways, all right. Thank you guys so much.
Men's soccer competed in the quarterfinals of the ASUN Championship as the number 2 seed from the Gold Division, playing against Stetson, who was the number 3 seed from the Graphite Division. The match was played at the number 1 seed from the Graphite Division, North Florida. The Bears got on the board first. Great counterattack goal. Pietro Fontana put away a chance, assisted by Devontae Richards. Stetson evened the match in the 54th minute and then took the lead for good in the 56th minute. Bears had several good chances to equalize but couldn't find the net in the end. This That match ended the 25 season for the Bears. Here to wrap up the season and preview his future plans for the program, Coach Kyle Segebart.
All right, so thank you for the opportunity to chat with everybody today. But want to start off by just kind of honoring the group that's now graduating their way out of our program. For many of them, you're talking about 4 years here at UCA, which is a rarity in our environment. And in those 4 years, postseason every one of those years, which is, again, something rare, even within the department, but just across the country. With only 211 teams, it's difficult to get into postseason play every year. And this group, this class, or whatever of young men has found a way to do it one way or other. With a previous coach and then a new coach coming in, having in a bunch of new ideas and things that he's wanted to put into place for a really long time, being assistant for so long, and changes that come along with that, adapted, started to figure it out, still find ways to get results and get into, give ourselves a chance to play one more match at the end of the season. So disappointed in the result. I think it was very difficult to accept it at the end of it, but ultimately, the team came together. They fought hard. They stuck to the plan the entire night. When we went down, we adjusted well. We got guys back on the field. We had chances. A ball bounces here, there, another way, 2-2, and then potentially taking into overtime, potentially into penalties. So, again, difficult to swallow, but at the same time, proud for what these guys have done over the time that they've been here with us. And we will use this season as a foundation to continue to grow what we build here moving forward at UCA. So that being said, we got the end of the season and what comes along with that. Well, just so that, a little bit of education for everybody in the room, what comes along with that? Well, we got to figure out who's going to be with us moving forward. Again, this time in an era of athletics and the NCAA and transfer portal, all that kind of stuff, you want to make sure you got guys that are in your locker room that are on the bus. Who wants to be on our bus and moving forward? They have the opportunity to make that decision now. If they want to look and seek out other opportunities, they've been asked to communicate that as soon as possible for their benefit as well as for us. And then from there, we will have a ceremony for our graduating players at the house, just with the players, because I think it's important for everyone that's moving forward with our group to recognize not just what they've done, but the fact that this journey ends. That this journey ends. You talk about it a lot, as an old college player myself, former pro player or whatever, we tell them all the time, well, this doesn't last forever. This doesn't last forever. It doesn't hit home until that very last game or that very last kick. And now I think it's important for everybody to kind of recognize that and really sit in it and eat it so that, it helps inspire and motivate the group moving forward. So we will have a unique ceremony that will be a kind of a mix of what I've always wanted to do and kind of what the program has done in the past. So that will take place next week. Other than that, the recruiting continues. Recruiting always continues. We've got opportunity to bring in some high-level players. We've got 3 committed already. I won't say their names. I won't say where they're from, but we're very, very excited about the 3 that we've already got committed and looking to get announced on signing day in the next couple of days. That will continue to carry this program forward, right? I'm also very excited about the staff that we have here and what we're very excited to continue to build as a group. We're very committed to having a player-centered environment where those players can take ownership over their own development and ownership over the results that they're able to get. I believe that's the real buy-in that's required for this day and age for young men, so that our ultimate goal, whether we win, lose, have a successful season in terms of the results, that they have the ability to lead themselves moving forward and graduating from our program. I think that's it's a very important tool or attribute for any young man graduating with a degree and looking to be not only lead themselves, lead their families, lead their communities moving forward. So that will be a cornerstone of what we continue to try and build for the men's soccer team. Other than that, I guess we can open it up to questions, some thoughts. Yep. Yes, we will be one of 2 of UCA's teams that will continue to play in the A-Sun next year. It's us in beach volleyball, whereas the rest of the athletic department will take part in the UAC. As of right now, the teams that are in the UAC, even with the addition of Little Rock, there are no men's soccer teams on the UAC side. Okay. Any other questions? No? All right, appreciate the opportunity. Take the rest of the day and kind of mourn the season or whatnot, but maybe go play around a golf or get. Sorry, yeah. Well, you can blow blood. We'll be all right. Maybe go throw some fly on the Red River for a couple hours. I don't know, but we'll get through this week and we'll build on top of what we've established this year, and we're excited about what men's soccer can continue to do here at UCA. Thank you.
Football Bears played a back-and-forth game with Austin Peay on Saturday. Bears had an 11-point advantage after the first quarter. Governors were up 13 at halftime. Bears were back up by 4 at the end of the third quarter. Then in the fourth quarter, the lead changed hands 3 times before the Governors won 41-38. The Bears had a total of 412 yards of offense. Landon Chambers rushed for 155 yards. That's his 8th game with over 100 yards this season, 7th in a row. Landon also had a touchdown on Saturday night. Austin Myers threw for 213 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Malachi Henry had 107 yards, including a 50-yard touchdown catch on the Bears' first play from scrimmage. That was Henry's 3rd time to go over 100 yards this season. He has 7 touchdowns on the season. Gary Lewis and Trevion Traylor both had 10 tackles on the night. The Bears will go on the road one more time, this time to Southern Utah on Saturday. It's a 7:30 Central Time kickoff. Now let's hear from head coach Nathan Brown.
How's everybody doing? All right, so I've got to first give a quick. When I've spoken in the past, I always say one day I always want my former student athletes to be able to sit where y'all sit. Well, I've got 2 of them sitting right over here. So Austin Norris and Caden Brown are very recently graduated Bears, and it's pretty cool that they get to come spend some time with us, and that's neat. That always makes me smile. So proud to have you guys here today. Yeah, I mean, a frustrating night. I mean, 1, you felt like you should have came out of Clarksville, Tennessee with a win. 2, as frustrating as it was, the exciting part was the response from the week prior. Eastern Kentucky, to me, 2 weeks ago, was not our best effort of the year. We didn't play great defense. Offensively, kind of sputtered out, especially in the second half. So your question is, what's your response going to be? And I thought our response was very high quality on Saturday. When you talk about jumping out, we jumped out to a 14-3 lead. You then sustain their counter punch, right? Then we go into halftime with a counter punch, and you're seeing a frustrated football team at halftime because of that counter punch. And so you've got to make a decision. Your halftime speeches has got to be very on point. It's got to be motivating. It's got to be, really bottom line. What kind of guts do you have? What kind of pride do you have? What kind of effort do you want to take into this second half? And I thought we played our best quarter of the season in the third quarter. We came out and shut them out, scored 17 points, and took the lead going into the fourth quarter, and then kind of again. Past blows back and forth throughout the fourth quarter, and just unable to make enough plays when the time counted. What do we have to do to take another step? We've got to be able to make plays when the pressure's on, right? So when the pressure's on, we've had opportunities on the road 3 times. 3 times this year. We've got 3 losses on the road by a combined 7 points, where we've had a chance to either stop or have the ball in our hands to gain the win. And we have not been able to do that on the road. What's exciting about that? We get another chance. Football gods tossed us another road game to go play and have a chance to avenge those 3 tough road losses that were by a close margin. It's growth, you know. You want to be able to toss that ball into that quarterback's hand and know that he's going to take you down and score when you have to. You want to be able to know if our defense is on the field in a tough pressure situation that they're going to come up with the big play. They're going to come up with the big stop. But we just haven't done that, you know, and we're lacking a little bit of depth. We're lacking a little bit of it factor. We're lacking a little bit of key spots, difference makers, and some key spots that can really take us over the top. You know, you just get a sack on that last drive that they have, right? Maybe, you know, you let a guy, you know, get back there and get them behind the chains. I mean, that's a big deal. And I knew going into this game, their quarterback is the best player in the league. He's going to be the conference player of the year. He's really good. They've invested in him, and they built it around him. He's a transfer from Mississippi State, and he looks the part. 380 total yards on Saturday. I mean, just a talented player. And we contained him, I thought, really well for 3 quarters. And then he made some unscripted plays in the fourth quarter. And when crunch time hits, unscripted plays are what wins games. I've watched it for years and years. You know, you can call the perfect play. It's the scrambles that make the plays. It's the quarterback runs that make the plays. That's what keeps the chains moving. Their kid was able to do that, and we weren't able to make enough plays. But very impressed with that young man and his ability. But again, I thought for 3 quarters our defense, you know, contained him pretty well. As we turn the page, I mean, we got a long road trip. We've got Southern Utah, and that's not an easy place to play. It's not an easy place to play any time of year, but specifically mid-November, you know, and you know, a night kick. You know, it's going to be a late kick, so be a little cooler temperatures out there than what we've been practicing in, and a little higher elevations, all those things, all those factors that can get in your head and be a psychological warfare and all that stuff. It's a football game. Let's go play ball, you know, and let's go see if we can improve. One thing I told Justin and them on the radio after the game, like, first thing I said was like, man, I'll tell you this, like, losers are quitters, and that's what I was excited about our team the other night was we didn't have any quitters. There's no losers in that locker room downstairs. There's 0 losers in that locker room downstairs. We lost that battle, but look, how are we going to respond in the next opportunity? That's what it's about. Are we going to get out there and get to work? We got 3 practices to get better today, you know, this week. How are you going to react and respond to avenge those those road trips and those close losses? And you got a chance to do it against a really high-quality opponent on the road at Southern Utah. Southern Utah is talented, very well coached. Coach Delane Fitzgerald does a great job there, very hard-nosed coach. Always tends to be, we played them twice. Actually, the last time we went out there, we won a close game. There was an hour and a half rain delay, all this stuff. Had a big lead going into the rain delay and kind of lost our momentum, and they got back into the game, and we won a 1-score game out there. You know. Then last year you come here and it was Caleb Koger's first start. You're down to your walk-on third-string quarterback, and all he did was go out and throw for 300 yards and gave us a chance to win the game, and we lost by 6 points to him last year out here. Tough matchup. So we're kind of back and forth. If the trend speaks well for us, good. We're on the road. Let's go have an opportunity to get after these guys. A couple things to watch for on these guys. They had the leading sacker in the country. They got a defensive end that has 11.5 sacks. We've got to put a game plan together to give Austin Myers time. That was one thing that lacked, especially late in the game. We've got to shore up a couple spots on the offensive line, in particular offensive tackle, to help us moving forward. And we've got some guys kind of shifting around and having to play out of position. Jamal Moll's a natural right guard. We're having to shift him out to right tackle because he's really our best all-around offensive lineman. So we're having to do some things that aren't normal, but we're going to have to chip this kid. We're going to have to slide toward him. He's talented. So here's the kicker. You would think if I said a kid that is leading the country in sacks, 11.5 sacks, you would think that he would look like Austin Norris. I mean, his kid's 5'11", 215 pounds. I mean, he looks like a linebacker. He just plays low center of gravity, has a tool belt full of pass rush moves. and it's really hard to get your hands on him. So he's a talented player. We played against him last year, was very talented last year, but has really taken another step this year. So they got the leading sacker in the country, and then they've got the leading rusher in the country as well. Landon Chambers is 5th in the country right now in rushing, but their kid actually has about 300 more yards than he does. I mean, they hand this kid the ball a lot. As much as you think we hand the ball to Landon Chambers, they hand the ball to this kid even more. Very talented young man. He's a transfer from UTEP. Seems like he runs with good power, good base. So we're gonna have to do a good job rallying up and tackling him. We're gonna have to gang tackle. We're gonna have to put him in try to pin him in between the tackle boxes and do a good job there. I think defensively we've done a good job of things inside the tackle box. It's getting outside the edge all year that has gotten us in some issues. And so we're gonna have to really do a good job with some of their pin pull schemes and some of their counter schemes that gets him outside so that we can keep him hemmed up and give us a chance. So, but again, we're excited. We're excited about the opportunity to compete again. Every week that turns by, it's a new opportunity. And, what an opportunity we got to go on the road and play at a beautiful place in Cedar City, Utah, and then get a chance to come back home after that. The stretch we've been on has been tough, man. You've been on the road, and you haven't got some of the fruits of your labors rewarded, and that's part of sports, that's part of football, that's part of I tell our players this all the time. Everybody works hard. Working hard doesn't equal success. Just because you work hard doesn't mean you're automatically going to have success, and you got to coach yourself and teach yourself that. So you just got to keep working, because the success will come at some point. We've got to make some key plays and key moments and key things in some tight times to help push us over the top, because we're 7 points away from being a 6-4 football team. And that's the what ifs and all that. And there's a time and place to talk and reevaluate all those things. But we've got Southern Utah looking at us right in the face, and they're a really good football team. And if we're sitting here wallowing around and feeling sorry for ourselves, that ain't good. We're gonna go compete and tackle them and see what we can do. You boys have heard that before. With that being said, I'd love to take any questions. Bobby.
Hey, make sure you tell that umpire to watch out for their linebackers mimicking our snap count.
Yes, sir. Well, everybody goes on the clap these days, and so it's easy to mimic that. And yeah, and including that was on a 4th and short play actually. But yeah, it's easy to mimic that. The old days of the verbal count are less and less. So yeah, no doubt about it. Dr. Bradley.
We had great effort, even though we didn't win. I liked the effort. There's only one play that I'm still scratching my head when the young man stepped out of bounds at the 1-yard line. That was kind of, I don't think I've seen that happen many times.
Yeah, that I'm still scratching my head on that one too. I think Chapman lost track of where he was. 2, the ball was deep enough that he didn't have to worry about it being a touchback. So in that case, you just one, you either fair catch it, right? You put your hand up and wave, or 2, you just let the ball roll through the back of the end zone. It would have been and honestly, as tight as it was the sideline, it may have took a side bounce and went out of bounds, and you get the ball at the 35. So learning moment for him. I think he's one of those kids that runs with his hair on fire, and every chance he gets to have an opportunity to touch the ball, he wants to do it. Just was a boneheaded mistake in that moment. And really, you put yourself, you look at our second quarter, that was one of our possessions in the second quarter where we didn't score any points on offense. We're on literally the half-yard line because of a boneheaded mistake. Again, great kid, made a mistake, and I'll tell you, no one felt worse about it than him. But yeah, I mean, we had a good game plan the other night, and we executed it. We did. There were some protection breakdowns where we probably could have maybe had a few more touchdown passes with some throws down the field. We just weren't able to do that. But our game plan was good. And whether you believe it or not, there was about probably 3 or 4 calls I want back, not just that one, that I'm like, man, in hindsight 2020, I wish I would have changed the protection to this or whatever it was. But that's the way it works sometimes. Everybody good? Awesome. Thank y'all.
Good afternoon. How is everybody doing? Good. It got cold today. It did. It got cold quick yesterday. We were around the house, and Camden wanted to go outside and shoot basketball, and I said, no, man, it's a little too cold for me out there. And the wind was affecting my shot, too. It was kind of hard to shoot outside, so didn't want my shooting percentage. Yeah, that's true, Bobby. Well, you know, I lowered it down just in case we needed to punch one. You know what I mean? No, it's gotten cold for sure. Well, it is great to be here today. It's a slower week on campus with home events. We have one home event on Sunday, 1 p.m., men's basketball taking on Sanford. That's a part of the ASUN and Southern Conference Challenge, so be in the Fair Center. Get a chance to come out for that. Sure appreciate that. And following our teams on the road this week. Coach Newberry got out of here, didn't he? Okay, yeah, he was talking about Kingston. I was going to tell him he was just using a red shirt on Kingston, talking about holding him back for a year. He just red-shirted him for a year. So I want to talk about the raffle. So first off, thank you all for your support of the raffle. You know, our first raffle that we had with the last home football game, homecoming against Eastern Kentucky. We have our second raffle coming up against Arkansas State in women's basketball, so that's next week. It's already live. If you want to go on and purchase tickets, you can certainly do that. And then we'll have that drawing after halftime of that game. So excited about that. Appreciate your support of that initiative, and excited that we can launch that for homecoming. And we'll have other select games through this fall. We've penciled in. We'll obviously have football, our last home game against Abilene Christian, and then men's basketball versus Little Rock on December 3rd, December 7th, December 3rd. I think that's right. So excited to do that, and appreciate your support. It's been mentioned, signing day this week. Excited to add several Bears and Sugar Bears to the fold here at UCA, and looking forward to what those student athletes, the impact that they'll have on our program and our coaches, and all the work that's done with recruiting and getting to that point. So excited to announce some of those student athletes this week. And with that, I will open it up for any other questions. Dr. Bradley, I know Coach Segebart definitely addressed your question, but the reason for that is we will have men's soccer and beach volleyball participating in the ASUN because there are not enough teams in those two sports on the UAC side to qualify for the AQ. So the access will be through the Atlantic Sun. We can do that through the consortium. So just those two.
Do we have any announcements or close to announcements of new teams for the next year for the United Conference, or are we still working with other schools?
Still work in progress there. There are certainly a lot of conversations being had around that. But as you can imagine, you know, a lot of red tape to jump through there, not only with athletic departments, administration, but Board of Regents, boards, all of those things. So a lot of positive conversations going on in that space, but nothing to announce at this time. What about any other questions? E-Rod, there you are, man. Good to see you. Didn't mean to call you out, but I just wanted to recognize you. All right, well, let's have a good week. Go Bears, go Sugar Bears. Bear claws up.